readers. My name is Monique Snyman. I'm an assistant editor for Booktrib.com, and I'm here today with debut author Diane Parrish, who's going to give us some insight about her exciting new book, Something Better. Diane's book is one of the selections in Booktrib's book club program for November, and I'm so excited that she was able to find a few minutes out of a busy schedule to talk to us today. Let's get to it. No spoilers, Diane, but what can you share about your book that we wouldn't find on the jacket cover?
Couple of things, actually. The first thing I would say is my book is written for readers who want to become very engaged in the story. It has some ambiguity, it has a lot of nuance, it has some open-ended questions. And so as readers go along, they'll have the opportunity to decide for themselves about the choices that the characters make. Was that a wise choice? Was that not a wise choice? Do I think this is what would happen next? You can anticipate what might happen, but there are a lot of surprises because I don't like to broadcast far in advance what's coming, and I don't like to tell readers what to think. I like readers to be in the story with the characters as the story moves forward. So you can't write all that on a book jacket cover. So that's not apparent. And because the book is written that way, the other thing I would say it's hard to put on a book jacket is, although these characters are not perfect, some of them make really bad decisions. Some of them make decisions that are even questionable morality. You will not hate any of these characters. They are humans who are making mistakes. They're no monsters. They're not evil. They're just trying to get through life, and they don't always get it right. So I don't think any reader would leave this book thinking, oh, I hated that guy. You won't. That's also hard to fit on a jacket cover.
But that's great. That gives us a lot of insight into what we can expect with the character. It's a character-driven novel after all, so yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and we love a flawed character.
We do. We do. I do.
I do
So,
as well. So
yeah.
why do you think something better would make a great book club selection?
Well, I have to say, on a practical level, the font is a good size. So you
That's
can read
great.
it, actually see it. It's also in that sweet spot of mid 200 pages. So you're not schlepping around a tome with you. Those practicalities aside, I think the reason it would make a good book group book is because it can generate a lot of discussion. I know in my own book groups, sometimes it's kind of disappointing when you read a book and you come to the meeting and people say, "What'd you think?" And everybody says, "Oh, it was good. I liked it." End of discussion. Or it wasn't my cup of tea. So were you guys going to dinner on Saturday night? And that's the end of the conversation. There are a lot of things in the book that will generate conversation, and not in a antagonistic, testy sort of way, like we talk about politics. There are no politics in here, but in a way that because there's a lot open to interpretation, different readers can come at it from a different point of view. And I think it would sustain a good book group conversation for a while.
I love that. Why don't you just show us your book a little? Show it off.
So
Oh,
this is my book, Something Better. It comes
it's
out
gorgeous.
tomorrow.
It's so
I
nice.
love the cover.
Yeah. It's very darker than I would usually prescribe to you. I love it. It's a very
Thank
sexy.
you. I like the dark. I like the dark background too. And then there's a lot going on in here, which becomes apparent as you read the book, of course. So I'm thrilled with the cover.
I love it. So, what's the best book, fiction or not non-fiction, that you've read in the last year and why?
I had to think about this because I've been blessed with a lot of really wonderful books in the last year. I've read some fantastic books. So I couldn't just choose one. I chose one fiction and one nonfiction. Um, my favorite nonfiction book was Sebastian Junger's In My Time of Dying, which is, I don't know if you've read that, but it's his story of becoming suddenly very, very ill and surviving the experience. But he's such a good researcher. He's looked into the illness he had, how hospitals respond to illness, how his family responded. It's very well researched, but it's also very personal, what he remembers about that time. And then the last part of the book is very spiritual and metaphysical. And I thought it was just brilliantly done. I absolutely loved that book. So that was my favorite nonfiction book so far. And my favorite fiction book so far was Daniel Mason's The North Woods, which is a very complicated book. It's the history of a place over the course of around 300 or 400, almost 400 years, actually. And it has so many different elements. It has nature writing, it has poetry, it has historical accuracy, it has a spiritual component, it has wonderful, complex characters, and it's an absolutely gorgeous language, absolutely gorgeous language. So I've been carrying that book around and giving it to everybody. Here, you have to read this book. It's so wonderful. So I guess those are my two favorite books of the year.
Oh, that's great. We actually did a giveaway for Into the Woods, I think. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's been blowing up everywhere. I'd love to talk to you more about books, especially yours, but I promised readers 5 minutes. So
Okay,
we
all
have
right.
to wrap this up so they can go read your book. So thank you again for your time and best of luck for the release. So for more information about Diane's book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website. Bye, readers.
Thank you. Thank you, Monique. It was great to see you.